Let's finish up 1.4b by looking at the application question at the bottom. This system right here is actually your quiz question. So you'll work on that for the quiz. Let's scroll down to our application. The rules for application with 3 equations and 3 variables are the same as they were in 1.4a when we had 2 variables. We want to make sure we read the word problem very carefully, assign our variables, and create our system. With 3 equations, this is going to be pretty tricky. Then the trickier part, even from that, is to solve. So let's see what we have over on the right. A box of 40 coins contains nickels, dimes, and quarters. The total value of the coins is $4. If there were 3 times as many nickels, half as many dimes, and 6 more quarters, the values of all the coins would be $5.50. How many quarters are in the box? Oh boy. All right, let's take a look here. In that first sentence, I think we'll be able to get our variables. We have nickels, dimes, and quarters. So I'm going to let my nickels be X, dimes be Y, and quarters equals Z. Now it says there are 40 coins total. What I'm going to do with that information is just add, let X be the number of nickels, Y be the number of dimes, and Z be the number of quarters. So that would mean that X plus Y plus Z equals 40 total coins. So that's the amount of each type of coin. Then we have a value equation. So we have a value of $4. Now we need to think about nickels, dimes, and quarters. Nickels are worth 5 cents. Dimes are worth 10 cents. And quarters are worth 25 cents. And technically, if we have a value of $4, that's 400 cents. Let's see if I can get that cent sign in there. What that means is if we eliminate the decimal and just use those whole numbers, for every nickel, we know we have 5 cents per nickel. For every dime, 10 cents per dime. And for every quarter, 25 cents per quarter. Now, I'm not going to set that equal to just 4 on the right. If those are all in terms of cents on the left, $4 is equivalent to 400 cents. Keep going. We've got another equation. Taking a look at what happens when we modify. So now if we look at, there are 3 times as many nickels. So now the nickels, we're going to triple them. So I'm going to triple them. There are half as many dimes, so I'm going to cut the dimes in half. And there are 6 more quarters. That means however many there were before, I'm going to add 6 more to them. Now the value is going to be $5.50. So now, with each of those green kind of parts in that equation, I need to give them values. So to the nickels, I'm going to multiply them all by 5. To the dimes, I'm going to multiply them by 10. And the quarters, I'm going to multiply by 25. And that means we have a total of 550 cents when we change things around. Take a look at that again. Read through the green and see if you are okay, at least with that row. If you are, which I hope you are, I'm going to clean this row up. Let's simplify. But I'm going to start at the top. I'll keep my X plus Y plus Z equals 40. Nothing to simplify there. 5X plus 10Y plus 25Z equals 400. Nothing to clean up there. But let's see what we can do with the green. I notice that 5 times 3x is 15x. 10 times 1/2 would be 5y. If I distribute the 25 in, we get 25x plus 150 equals 550. So now I'm going to subtract 150 and get all the x's, y's, and z's on one side and then everything else on the other. Speaking of z's, I need to fix that, don't I? There we go. And now we should end up with 15x plus 5y plus 25z equals 400. And that's just creating our system. Now we have to solve. But notice the only variable we really want is the variable that represents quarters. So we really just want to get z by itself. We don't have to solve for everything. Let's see if you can do that. What I would do first, here's my hint for you. I would eliminate either the x's or the y's. I wouldn't eliminate the z's in this problem. If we're trying to solve for z, don't eliminate it in that first round. Then you'll have less work to do at the end. So I'm going to start by eliminating x. That's going to be my variable. First, I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take equations 1 and 2. So I'll take equation 2, and I'm going to add to that -5 times equation 1. And that will eliminate the x's from those two equations. Let's see what that looks like. If I multiply everything in the top row by -5, I get -5x minus 5y minus 5z equals -200. As I combine my columns, the x's eliminate, and we have 5y plus 20z equals 200 left over. So now we need to pick two equations that are different from 1 and 2 and apply the same process. I'm going to give myself a little bit more room on my screen to write. There we go. Looking at our three equations again, I worked with 1 and 2. I'm now going to work with 1 and 3. So now I'm going to take equation 3, and then I'm going to have to multiply equation 1 by -15. That's okay. That'll work just fine. If you wanted to do equations 2 and 3, you could do that as well. So I'm going to write this out and then see what I have left over. Setting up that system with equation 3 plus -15 times equation 1, I'm left over with -10y plus 10z equals -200. Once you create that smaller system, we now have to solve the smaller system. So I'm going to put 5y plus 20z equals 200 in one row, minus 10y plus 10z equals -200. Whoops, there's the bell. We're not quite done. In the other row. Now, if we're trying to get z by itself, because that's ultimately the quarters, now would be a time where we want to eliminate the y variable. And I recognize that if we simply multiply this top row by +2, then that would become 10y on top, and we have -10y on the bottom. So let's write out what that looks like. I notice that if I multiply everything by 2, I get 10y plus 40z equals 400 in that top row. And in the bottom row, we have -10y plus 10z equals -200. As I combine my columns, the y's eliminate, and we have 50z on the left. On the right, 400 minus 200 is 200. To get z by itself, if we divide both sides by 50, we get z equals 4, and what that means for our word problem is that there are 4 quarters. And there's just an example of using the system of 3 equations with application. Your quiz for this lesson, like I said before, is solving the problem that's up above. So I encourage you to write that problem out on notebook paper, or not notebook paper, in your notes, and then go ahead and answer the quiz question online. So again, this problem up here, whoa, here we go, is your quiz question. Good luck, everybody.